In a room full of noise, most people are trying to scream to be noticed. But in Silicon Valley the famous, or in the labs full of knowledge, there are people still staying silent. They are winning. A great victory does not lie in the excitement. It lies in the inner power. When the world is busy showing off, do you want noise? Or want to lead? Do you ever ask yourself why the people who change humanity with ideas that are revolutionary are often the ones who are the quietest? Imagine Bill Gates alone in Think Week at a library. Picture Mark Zuckerberg quietly programming the future beside lines of code. They are not rushing. They are not hurrying. They are simply enjoying absolute silence before the crowd causes a disturbance. If you love stories slow like this, please stay so that we can go through today's journey. Your presence at this moment is the motivation for me to share beautiful values. Silence is not weakness. According to research from Wharton University by Professor Adam Grant, leaders who tend to be introverts bring profits 14% higher when leading proactive teams. In a statistic about billionaires by Forbes magazine, more than 70% admit they are introverts. This is not a coincidence. This is a biological advantage. In this journey of 30 minutes, we will go through in turn 3 main contents. Part 1 talks about brain science and acetylcholine levels in introverts. Part 2 talks about the silent rituals of great people who are changing the game. Part 3 is the way for you to release the power of silence. Don't just listen. Try to feel the weight from inner silence. Only 30 minutes. You don't just learn English. You are learning how to master your own position. Let's begin together. Part 1: Decoding the introvert brain structure. Why are we different? The answer does not lie in a choice. It lies deep in the grooves of the brain. According to Dr. Marty Olson-Laney, author of the book, The Introvert Advantage, the difference lies in the path of nerve signals. Look at our nervous system. It is divided into 2 main branches: the sympathetic branch and the parasympathetic branch. Extroverts often operate based on the sympathetic system, the place that prepares for the fight or flight reflex. They are always in a state ready to explode. But introverts belong to the parasympathetic system. This is the system that helps the body conserve energy and recover. It prioritizes internal thinking over reacting to the environment outside. A study full of breakthroughs at the University of Iowa in 1999, using PET scan technology, proven that introverts have more blood flow in the frontal cortex area. This is the center of planning, of solving complex problems, and of abstract thinking. Blood not only flows more, but its path is also much longer. In the brain of extroverts, blood concentrates in the parietal lobe and the temporal lobe, where it processes the senses and the noise. Meanwhile, in introverts, the blood flow passes through the Broca area, where we talk to ourselves. It passes through the frontal lobe area, where ideas are shaped and evaluated carefully. Extroverts are stimulated by dopamine, a type of hormone of excitement. They need sounds. They need crowds. They need praise to feel they are living. But introverts are completely different. They are sensitive to dopamine, so they are easily overloaded with information. Imagine dopamine like a strong electric current. It makes introverts feel burned and exhausted if exposed for too long. Their energy source comes from acetylcholine, a type of hormone released when we focus, when we reflect, and when we sink into silence. Acetylcholine does not create instant excitement like dopamine. It creates deep peace and persistence in thinking. Because the brain of introverts has longer nerve pathways, information passes through many stops to be analyzed, to be dissected. That is the reason they do not answer immediately. In meetings, the crowd might think that they are slow or have no opinion, but actually, in that silence, a supercomputer is operating with maximum capacity. They are eliminating risks. They are looking for gaps that talkative people often overlook when they speak. It is not a sudden word. It is the crystallization of thoroughness. They do not win by speed. They win by depth. They do not win by overwhelming. They win by precision. Do you find yourself often tired after parties? Or do you feel full of energy when being alone? Please share your experience in the comments below. Silence is not an empty space. It is the place where the greatest ideas are formed. Part 2: Silent Rituals of Great People. When the world is busy showing off, great people choose to withdraw. They are not hiding. They are accumulating true power. Their silence is a strategy, calculated carefully. Look at Bill Gates, the founder of Microsoft. Twice a year, he performs a ritual called Think Week. He stays away from family, away from employees, away from the internet. He hides himself in a small wooden house by a quiet lake in the Pacific Northwest area. During 7 days, 16 hours each day, he does not talk to anyone. His menu is only the simplest dishes, so that the brain is not distracted by eating. What does he do? He reads piles of manuscripts, reports about the latest technology trends, ideas that change the world, like the memo, the internet tidal wave, in 1995, that steered the Microsoft ship. All were born in this solitude. Bill Gates proves that strength does not lie in constant connection. It lies in the ability to disconnect, to see the bigger picture. Or remember Albert Einstein, the father of relativity, the person who changed the entire physics of humanity. His ritual often took place on small, simple sailboats. He drifted on the lake for hours. No need to steer, no need for a destination, only needing silence. He once shared that ideas do not come when he is working in the office. They come when he is silent and lets his imagination fly freely amidst the vast water waves. Silence is the environment for his nerve cells to automatically connect the most disconnected concepts into a great law of the universe. Warren Buffett, the investment legend, the sixth richest person in the world in 2024, spends 80% of his time each day just to sit still and read books. He reads at least 500 pages every day alone in his office in Nebraska. No computer, no electronic board, dancing constantly like other common investors. He chooses silence to not be swept away by the panicked crowd. Silence helps him see the true value of a business, while others only see the rise and fall of stock prices. His philosophy is very simple. I sit there and think. Most people act too much, but think too little. That is the reason they lose money, and he wins. We also cannot forget the female writer, J.K. Rowling, the person who created the wizarding world of Harry Potter, a human classic. In the stage of completing the final chapters, she rented a room in an old hotel in Edinburgh. She needed absolute silence, to the point that she could not write at her home. That silence helped her chain thousands of complex details of a giant imaginary world. She said that without solitude, she would never reach the deepest level of creativity. All great people in every field have the same formula. They do not consider silence as a waste. They consider it the wisest investment. They win because they see things that busy people always miss. They win because they possess a cold head in a world that is burning up. Do you see? Your power is gradually appearing through these stories. If you cherish the deep knowledge we are exploring together, please press like and share the video. Your support is the motivation for me to continue the journey of awakening with the community of introverts who are quietly mastering the game. Among the four greats above, who do you feel most like in their ritual? Please write their name and the reason why in the comments. The greater a person is, the more they need silence to hear clearly their own ego. Part 3: Mastering the Power of Silence. We have understood about the brain and the great people, but how can you yourself master this power in a world that never stops screaming? Many people mistake that leadership must be the person who talks the most, the person who spreads fire with speeches. But the truth is, according to Professor Adam Grant, leaders who are introverts are often more effective when leading a team full of enthusiasm. Why is that? Because they know how to listen. They do not fight for the spotlight with employees. They allow the best ideas to sprout without being imposed by the ego of the leader. If you are an introvert who is a manager, use silence as a tool to explore the potential of others. Your calmness is the anchor that helps the team ship overcome the storm. In meetings, do not try to steal others' words. Be the person who observes last. Take notes and connect the disconnected points that the crowd is busy arguing about. When you speak, speak with the power of data and thoroughness. One sentence from an introvert can end an entire hour of useless debate. That is the way you establish the leading position without needing to be loud. This world will always find a way to exhaust you with parties, calls, and notifications. Constantly on the phone. You need to learn how to set boundaries. Create silent oases in your day. That could be 15 minutes walking alone, or 1 hour reading books in the evening. Do not feel guilty when refusing a fun event. If you see your energy is at an exhausted level, your withdrawal is not avoidance. It is the preparation for a jump further ahead. The greatest advantage of silence is the ability for independent thinking. When you are not by the sound of the crowd dominated, you will see the essential truth. Take time to write or draw mind maps. The transformation of thoughts in your head onto paper will help you see clearly the path of destiny. The winner is the one who knows where they are going, while everyone is running in chaos. Mastering silence is not trying to turn yourself into a stone, inanimate and soulless. It is the act of using silence as a filter to remove noise and keep the essence. You do not need to change your introverted nature to succeed. You only need to live true to the power that nature has given. Your silence is the affirmation strongest about confidence. Which strategy among the 4 things above makes you feel most confident? Leadership, communication, conserving energy, or independent thinking? Please leave a comment for us to discuss together. The one who knows how to be silent, to understand themselves, will soon master the whole world out there. Outro. When silence speaks, you have just gone through a journey of awakening. Let's connect the touch points that we have decoded together. First is the neural map, where acetylcholine leads you into the maze of ideas, the most serious ones. Your introversion is inherently a masterpiece of biology. Next is the footprints of greats, the leaders who used solitude like a foundry to shape the destiny for all humanity. They are not avoiding, they are creating. And finally is the sword of reality, the way you practice calmness, setting boundaries, and choosing the way to listen to the world, to clearly understand the nature of the game. Now, you are no longer a person who is lonely and moody. You are a silent warrior, possessing the weapon that the crowd never has. The world might still be noisy, but the eye of the storm is always quiet, and you are that eye of the storm. If you find yourself here in the stories just shared, then we are no longer strangers. Do you know? Your presence until this moment is a gift priceless to me. If you feel this video is useful, do not hesitate to press subscribe so that we have more chances to meet again on the journey of self-liberation. Every support even the smallest, from you right now, is the motivation for me to continue researching and sharing deep values to the community of introverts talented like you. Do not be afraid of silence. Love it, because that is where your power truly begins. Go out there and win in your own way. As a leader, what makes you feel most proud about your nature of being an introvert? Please share so that we can understand each other more in the comments. See you again at the peak of silence. Introverts do not stand outside the game. They are the ones who are secretly operating that game.